What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos. So welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. We have a jam-packed episode for you, a special episode. And for this special episode, I need a fun, knowledgeful? That's not a word, is it? Knowledgeable. There you go. Knowledgeable panel. Got there in the end for this episode. And of course, let's get straight to the introductions. To my right is none other than Drizzy. That's you usually see him on the Daily Show and Wrestling Off the Air. How you doing today, sir?
Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in, but we serious today.
Oh yes. Oh
This
yeah.
is a very important topic. I've been down to talk about it for a while, actually.
Fair dues, fair dues. Well, you come to the right table to do that, sir. Down below is one of the OGs of Taking to the Table, none other than Big Man Rides. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. Always good to be back. Let's get into it, man. Straight.
Yes, we will indeed. And last but not least, some of you see on the Tuesdays as well on the Daily Show, none other than Shad. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, bro. Just got done breaking Monday night Raw down with you on a daily, but I've been excited to do this show with y'all tonight, so I won't even take any more time. Let's get into it.
Yes. Welcome to the table, everybody. And yeah, we ain't gonna mince words here today. So be sure to get your popcorn ready. We are gonna be talking about the current climate of the representation, or should I say misrepresentation of black champions in the wrestling industry. We're talking mainly WWE and AEW. And the reason I wanted to talk about this was obviously the current status or the current presentation of one Swerve Strickland, who is currently the AEW World Champion, and is not being predominantly featured, or being in my opinion not really being properly featured as the number one guy on. He's got your main championship, and he's just not being represented well. So we're going to dive into that as well, and if we got time, we might play a little game, maybe guess the pay-per-view. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, that's at the end. So yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And without further ado, let us take it to the table. All right. So yeah, like I said, this is a very not so fun topic, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to, like I said, talk about the representation of black champions throughout not just today, but in the past as well. Like I said, we currently with Swerve Strickland. He is currently the AEW World Champion, and pretty much so far since he's won the title at AEW Dynasty against Samoa Joe, he has yet to main event a single Dynamite. He's been put in arguably throwaway matches. I think his first match that he had since becoming champion was against Kyle Fletcher. It probably was a title eliminator. Why? And he's, like I said, he's not really been in the predominant. He's been yet to be put. You only see him at least once in the on Dynamite, and it's in the middle or at the beginning of the show. Nothing really meaningful. And yeah, now you see him on Collision. Fair enough. You get to see the champ on all the main shows besides Rampage. Sorry, but still nothing. It feels like the way he's been presented, not in a like the main story right now is stuff involving the Young Bucks with an injured Darby Allin and God knows who else. Why is not, when it was Samoa Joe or MJF, you see them show up from the beginning, maybe middle, and at the end of the show. They usually do they're usually in the main event for Dynamites and whatnot. Why is that not really being presented the same for Swerve Strickland? I'll even go back with in the WWE side when Kofi Kingston with Kofi Mania and all that. Sure, obviously you got that great match at Mania. Since then, since during that title reign, he had pretty forgettable feuds, I would say. You know, with Dolph Ziggler, Randy Orton, and who else? And then obviously the way he lost it, 5 seconds against Brock Lesnar.
That was still
Um,
hurts. That still
that
hurts.
still hurts. Big E got that cashed in on Monday Night Raw against Bobby Lashley. Great champion. You know, that's fair enough. Cashed in during that reign. The only thing I remember honestly from his title reign was when he lost it at day one, which arguably I don't think he was meant to even lose it against who? Brock Lesnar. And you know, it was just a throwaway. You know, and these things for me, it feels like the masses cry out for these guys to be champion, and it feels like the high brass, they just say, all right, cool, you got what you want. Let's just let him have his little 5 minutes, and then we're gonna go to the real stuff. That's what it feels like to me. The way that these reigns are just so forgettable and just in the back end. Because yeah, even when Kofi and Big E were champions, they weren't main eventing pay-per-views. They weren't they were I don't think they were even main eventing Monday Night Raw or on SmackDown respectively. Why is that? And it's just really frustrating. And now you're seeing that trickle into AEW. So yeah, I've kind of gone on a bit of a rant. But yeah, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. I mean, what do you agree? What could be done? Like, why is this certain trend? Like, what's your thoughts on this? I'll start with Drizzy. Well, with your thoughts on this, because I know you got a lot to get off your chest regarding this situation. What's your thoughts?
I've been watching wrestling since '96. I could count on one hand how many times a black champion has been presented in a polarizing light. In fact, I can only name two probably. Uh, Bobby, and I'll give Booker T in WCW. He did get it in the proper light, but it was only a couple of times due to what was going on in WCW at that point in time, with Hogan, Bischoff, and all them around. But when the times that they wanted to take those days off, that's the one time you see Booker painted in the right light. Bobby, a champion of pandemic.
Yes.
A part of the pandemic aspect. So when there's nobody else around, it's great to put the belt on them. Even that first Mania, they back from pandemic, he actually got the win, but it was like the first match of day one of Mania, and it's like, do they not see the value in having a black world champion? Do they not see the money that you can have behind it? Do they not see? I don't know what it is that they don't see, but for 50 plus years, you can see every other white champion and nobody bat an eye about it. But the moment we get a black champion, like, we can't do this. We put them on first and just send them home for the night. Ours, just I just want to. I really would like to be a fly on the wall in one of those creative rooms that just know what it is that they don't see, because we've seen countless black superstars come in all aspects of wrestling, and they have everything, but what is it that the higher brass in Big Fed and Little Fed that they don't see?
No, it is a mystery, 100%. I mean, there, like you said, there are some that are just about represented well. Like you said, the Bobby Lashley, but it was part of the pandemic, especially second reign. I think maybe the only real pass is maybe Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. They main evented Mania, but that's just one.
But I feel like that's also
Even with Bianca, like you saw, they took her title for her in the snap of a finger when Becky came back, right?
Yeah.
And they try to, mask it by saying, "Oh, well, this is a story for her to come back and ultimately beat her." I don't think that was the case. I think it was Vince. Big proponent is Vince McMahon in the who he is as an individual.
Yeah.
I won't deny that. That man is definitely a big time racist. can't
Yeah.
sugarcoat it at all. And as much as he can see talent, and he probably knows that Bianca Belair is a star. Well, Becky's Becky. I want Becky to be the champ. That's not, especially on the magnitude. Like Bianca Belair was holding the WWE down after that Mania moment, and like stuff like that, you see it happen a lot.
Yeah, that was definitely a case of she's undeniable. There's no possible
Yeah,
way that you cannot say that Bianca Belair doesn't need to be, Sasha don't need to be in the main event. There's
right.
no way.
Yeah, and the other thing is this: the pool of women superstars is smaller than the pool of men superstars too. So
Yeah.
like you do when you have a very limited amount of superstars like that they want to push in the women, so they're gonna eventually. So yeah, to what Drizzy says, she's undeniable. Sasha undeniable. They're gonna get that opportunity. Jade Cargill will get that opportunity because she's undeniable at the end of the day as well. But like, there's a lot of like historically, like the fact that Shelton Benjamin,
I was just gonna say, yeah.
one of the best in-ring wrestlers, a guy who had different ways to reinvent himself with character work and stuff as well, never had a world championship run. It's mind-boggling, bro. Like that type of shit don't make no sense to me at all. Like, and like even with like a person like historically, like you said, Booker T, even the whole thing with Booker T and Triple H, like the whole storyline to it, and not giving Booker T the moment when Booker T was like on one at that time too. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. No,
Like these are
it is mind boggling for sure. And it's, you just wonder that anytime they do anything that seems positive for the culture, it does feel like there is some politics behind it in a way. Like you said, even though Sasha and Bianca main evented Mania, sure, obviously, that was that again, it was positive because it was the first time ever, and but they actually proved that they can carry the ball. But like I said, the way that she lost it, it just completely just undermines everything. And when she deserved
yeah.
more. So yeah, it's kind of mad. Well, what about you, Rise? What's your take on this? What's your thoughts on this situation?
I mean, for me, it starts even before title reigns. Like, just even if we're just looking at how Black individuals are represented in wrestling as a whole. Let's keep it real. They're either the funny comedic type or the very athletic. That's essentially the two that they're put. So you got Shelton Benjamin. He didn't really go down the comedy route, but he was always the really gifted, the athletic guy.
Oh, we did go the comedy route. Remember with Big Mama?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Gold
temporarily. Yeah, there was that.
Man, it had to go here.
Yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah, and then you got people like, I mean, the list goes on. Naomi's another one who I've always said is kind of underrated. It's hard to imagine now because of how long he's been the way he is. But even someone like R-Truth, you go back to his younger years, the dude's a like former NWA champion and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he was never shown in that light, even close to it in WWE. That's fine. Maybe he's happy doing that, but I think representation matters, and it shouldn't just be a tick box or because it's Black History Month or whatever. Like, we've got the talent there, and for years, it was only really The Rock, and there's a question mark on whether that even counts. Like a little asterisk. I mean, it counts, but even they didn't even push it like it counted. They never. I mean, you can say he's half Samoan and half Black, but it was never presented as, oh, the first Black WWE champion. Like, he was just a guy. And really, it was more the Samoan side that kept getting pushed, really, if we talk about it. So I never really saw anything about Black WWE champion on the forefront until Kofi Mania, if I'm honest with you. And that's after watching for like decades. I would say the only guy that truly was represented as a champion, where when you're watching it, you believe it, was Bobby Lashley. And unfortunately, that was in the pandemic. I think part of the reign was back when we had fans and there was a back and forth with him and Lesnar.
That he was the transition between of the pandemic and having fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, although it was believable, it was kind of overshadowed by Lesnar and Reigns, because that was what it was building to, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. it's always kind of like it just seems very tick boxy to me. Where here it is for now, and then when you talk about the actual title reigns, yeah, mid card champions, they're not really considered the main event. There's something I always felt the championship should be the main event. So if there's a championship, but then another main event story that outshines that, what are you saying about your champion?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's what's going on with Swerve Strickland right now. I mean, it definitely.
I saw his interview with on Busted Open, and obviously he felt defensive about the topic because it came up in regards to time, and a lot of it is argued on time. And he's like, "Well, I'm on this segment, this segment, this segment." I don't think like the argument to me in his presentation is not about being on TV. You're gonna be on TV. You're the world champion. Like they're gonna put you on TV. It's when you're on TV, and that's what like I do the whenever I talk about it on the Thursday show is why is your world champion wrestling but his competitors are not wrestling? Like, why does he have to defend the title 2 weeks before he has a title match at the pay per view? Why does he have? You beat the main boss of the entire faction, but the following week you're wrestling second on the show after a big segment that started it in a gimmicky match in against the dinosaur character because it has to deal with the House of Dragons
About
bullshit
that
or
pet.
whatever, right?
Yeah,
Like why? Like it don't make no sense, and I don't think like I don't know. I can't tell him how he can or cannot feel. If he's cool with it, he's cool with it. But from a fan's perspective, you're
yeah,
not booked or looked as a champion compared to how they treated a MJF, a
exactly.
Omega, a Moxley, all of that. Like the presentation is very, very different with Swerve
Yeah,
than it is with that
and the
off of
thing
just
is,
booking time.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and it like he's got the potential to be like a crossover star. Like you sent some photos in the GC of him, posing with
Charlemagne
um
God.
Charlemagne the God, and he was celebrating with Floyd Mayweather, like, and he's got crossover power. You see him
yeah,
on the red carpets and all that stuff, but it's not presented to us like that on TV. You're rather pushing these fake EVPs in
Hmm.
this nothing feud, and you're pushing your champion by the wayside. Yeah, he's getting his segments, but it's nothing meaningful. It's nothing. It doesn't feel top tier. It
At
feels
all.
filler.
it
Yeah,
I
it
would
did.
say
doesn't.
It,
And Swerve is like if we're checking boxes as like just fans of what we think a wrestler is good at. Like he checks every box. He's an incredible in-ring wrestler. He can cut a great promo. His presentation, he looks cool as shit. He got the nice jackets. He's got the dope music. He's got the manager that's super over with the gimmicky dance and
It's got
stuff.
everything.
And he knows how to tell stories. Him and Hangman was one of the best
listen,
fucking
yeah,
stories in AEW last year, man.
and the
So
moment he gets the belt, yeah. Now
yeah,
I understand. I'll play devil's advocate here. I understand why he did not main event Double or Nothing. With everything that was going on there in that fat last match, if I was sitting there making a call, I'm probably not putting him in the main event because everything that happened in that final match definitely, there's you're not
Yeah,
gonna have enough steam for anything, and you're doing him more of a disservice. But I don't even believe, but he could have main evented the what was the pay per view after before that was it Dynasty? It
Dynasty.
wasn't Dynasty. Yeah, Dynasty. He didn't main
yeah.
event that.
Hey, he won the title there, didn't he?
Oh, he won. Did he? He did
Yeah,
Yeah,
win
he
title
won
there.
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Against
He
Joe.
beat
Yeah, that
he,
was the main. So
There was a show in between there, wasn't it?
nah. I
There
think
nah.
wasn't.
this is the first one after that. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
where on the card was he for Double or Nothing?
I want to say he was the
so
match before the main event.
there was
Yeah, so he's the co-main.
three main events
Yeah,
as they
that's how they do it. They
say.
did triple main event, but he was essentially the co-main.
Okay,
Um,
And but and I understand that, and I don't my beef ain't really with the pay per view as much as it is what's happened after the pay per view. Like I don't understand like if we're moving into the WWE side, right? We always complain about like Roman not being on TV wrestling that much, but Roman's presence when he opened the show or closed the show felt like an important deal because
100%.
you're the franchise player. You are the world champion. Your name, your belt you're holding says AEW on it. You run that shit at this time being, right? Like you're the quarterback. You're Patrick Mahomes for AEW at the time. And he's getting like second docket, bro. Like in a wrestling match. I don't understand that. And this week, another wrestling match from a match that got built on Collision with a dude punking Tony Khan backstage, and like that's a good idea. Like I get that we like having these matches, but you dilute your importance when we see you so much just wrestling all the time as the world champion. I feel like we need to see you presented like a bigger deal with that. Like matches need to mean more to it, build to it, and your
Exactly.
opponents ain't wrestling either. Like
That's what I'm saying. And these are all like eliminator matches. And
yeah,
AEW is really running this thing into the ground with these eliminator
that's
matches.
Vince used to do, bro.
I hate eliminator matches. I really do. If you beat the champion, you should be the champion.
Be the champion.
At that
Facts.
point.
Yeah.
Wait, remind me. Eliminate. Is this like a non-title match?
Yeah,
it's a number one contender match against the champ.
Yeah, you know, WWE always do the contender matches. Yeah, but they called them eliminators. But then the dumb thing about it was like they did one with John Moxley and Takeshi at Double or Nothing, and they didn't even let Takeshi to win that. Like, why not run that and make him be a potential threat to his New Japan World Championship
on a belt that's not even theirs.
A belt that's not even theirs. It was just so weird.
This is why I haven't been watching AEW. This is exactly why I haven't been watching it. There's been no fire for me to, I need to watch this.
And the crazy thing about it is, we could say it's just the presentation. The booking is there. This whole feud with Christian, it made sense. It's the sins of Shane Strickland's past coming back to bite him.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't we making a bigger deal about this? Like, eventually we got to get down the path where Keith Lee's is the his number one contender, and I don't even see a way of them even getting that. I don't even see a reason why. I don't even think he's gonna make it that far, especially after what just happened this last Wednesday.
Right.
Like, if you watch wrestling long enough, the writing is on the wall.
Yeah.
When he was just a transitional champion. And I absolutely hate that.
And I felt like that last week when I saw Will Ospreay win that match. Like, it may not be June, but it's coming soon. He's gonna beat Swerve for that title. And it pisses me off because it's like, I ain't asking for him to have some 2-year reign or nothing like that, right? But there's so much that they got a lot of fucking talent on that roster. There's a lot of viable competitors, a John Moxley, a Bryan Danielson, plenty of dudes that he can feud with that are meaningful title feuds that are going to be matches we want to see as fans, and they're going to benefit him as the world champion and be good for your product. Why cap it off that quickly? Because the shiny, and it goes back to what I was saying, man. These are the type of shit that is Ospreay. People are like, oh, but it's Ospreay because it's he's a different type of champion. This is what Tony would probably want in his champion, and it's bullshit. I don't get it. And even you know what? I'll even go to this point too, man. Jade was the TBS champion, right? And people will be like, well, Jade was the champ, and she had that big record. They never gave Jade the opportunity to grow as fuck the wrestler in ring stuff, but that to a point. But actually having meaningful title like feuds that could help her develop and put her to that next level as well. They was just,
but yeah,
she had two.
There was two.
She was a champion. She was undefeated her entire time.
Yeah,
but only had 2 feuds that actually had some type of story.
And some of the blow-ups to the feuds were on Rampage. So
on Rampage,
you know what I mean? It wasn't
a bunch of the title defenses on the YouTube page on the Dark Elevation.
And you know what? It's cool that you bring up the TBS Championship, because in my head I was thinking of the original World Heavyweight Championship back when Raw and SmackDown was split, and we talk about black champions, we did have Booker T, we did have Mark Henry in WWE, but it always kind of felt like you can't be the WWE champion, so here's the world heavyweight champion.
Secondary.
And the same thing can be said about the TBS champion, because don't they have another women's championship?
Yeah, they got the AEW women's champion.
I mean, but that stayed far away from Jade, as far as I know.
Yeah. Because I was calling for her to like maybe relinquish that and go for the main one. Like that would have made,
and that would have been very believable. But
they never let her have a feud with Britt Baker, a Thunder Rosa, like none of the women that on that main event scene.
They kept her in that box. They kept her in that box the whole time. So we'll let people come over here to play with you, but you got to stay over
there. And that's literally what they did with, like I said, the World Heavyweight Championship. The few black people that had that title were never it. I mean, I love SmackDown. I was a SmackDown kid, but it always felt like number two. It was they even jokingly presented it like that on the show. They would make digs and everything. The number two brand, the number two title, paper champion, and all of that stuff. All of those words were said. And then on top of that, we never had a true face of the company, baby face champion who was black. If they were even going to be a big deal, they had to be the bad guy. They had to be the gimmick or the negative. You know what I mean? Mark Henry was the bully. Who else did I mention? Booker T was doing King Booker. We had Kofi, but we know how that went. But prior to that, it was always heels. I can't remember outside of The Rock any babyface heavyweight champion that was black. Can't see it.
No, not really.
There's a lot of talented
I mean, they're happy to give them the mid-card title. There's been a lot of mid-card winner champions and whatnot, but
20-time Intercontinental champion, go for it. But like,
but to be the face, it's like I said, the latest one really that was believable was Lashley. But I said, like, obviously it's no fault of his own. There's no fault of his own, but it does make you wonder if the pandemic didn't hit,
would it even have happened? And furthermore, to jump on that point, you've also got to think, okay, fine. Why didn't they continue the momentum? Why has he not even gone back to that at all?
Yeah.
Since going back to SmackDown, why did he and Reigns never have a thing? Why is he not? I know he's injured now, but why has he not even come close to being a contender?
He could be a viable contender for Cody. He'll be a viable.
Exactly.
I've been preaching for that, man.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
For the longest time.
Would have been amazing.
Why take his faction from him?
Exactly.
Like during the pandemic, you had the Hurt Business, which was
over as hell.
The Hurt Business, they went through a normal 2-year storyline in a matter of 4 months.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Never understand that.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, bro.
It's crazy.
And
I do feel if that actually happened under Triple H, it would definitely went the full 2 years, and who knows? But that's just Vince. He just hates factions. He just hates it.
But this is a problem they do all the time, even with regardless black, white, Latino, whatever. They always nowadays there's no permanent main eventer. There's no permanent title picture person. Like you have your moment, then it's back to the mid card, then it's someone or whatever. I mean, obviously exclude Reigns and all of that, but like, can you think back to when we was young? Even if Rock or Triple H weren't holding the championship, you saw them still as the main event or part of the main event scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now it's like we got people who were champion a month ago, and like now they don't even appear like champions or appear
not even on TV. Not even on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, Swerve is about to wrestle a dude who's a mid-card champion.
There you go.
On a card that's supposed to be, and that's the other thing too. It's like you're going against someone who's not even like. It's the whole pay-per-view is supposed to be them versus us in regards to these other like New Japan and all these other like promotions and whatnot. He don't even get to wrestle one of the top guys from the other places. He got to wrestle one of his own guy.
We're not getting Naito. We're not getting Takahashi. We're not even getting Tanahashi.
Like Mercedes wrestling old girl from CMLL.
Yeah.
And Stephanie Vakit, and he gotta wrestle somebody he gotta like sit next to in the locker room, bro. Like shit, that shit don't
pass that towel.
This shit.
Shit.
I I don't get it, man. Like, and it's
it shows that they just don't have actual trust in him. That they I think they genuinely feel like if you put him against a New Japan guy, he's not going to sell seats. He's not going to sell tickets. So what better way than to pretty much bump this thing? Because I thought they were going to do this match against Ospreay at All In. It would make sense. He's the hometown kid.
Yeah, he's from UK.
Yeah,
He's from the UK. He can do all that stuff. Turn heel, do the Tiger Driver on him, end it, done. But they're rushing it into Forbidden Door. People saying it's fantastic booking. I flipping disagree. I really feel like they just don't have any trust in him. When he's got the full pack, you said he's ticked all the boxes. He can cross mainstream, got the look, can talk, can promote, can carry a storyline well. What the fuck is wrong with you, TK?
Right.
This is the guy that says he wishes Ricky Starks will be back on AEW TV. Here's an idea. Put him on your TV show.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let's get to that point.
Oh my God. Have you heard about this news?
What the fuck kind of quote is that? You booked the damn show. You holding his ass back from TV. You obviously there's some shit. There's method to his madness why he's not booking him or whatnot. I don't know the shit behind closed doors. We don't acknowledge the dirt sheets here or whatnot. But like, there's no one's stupid. You don't you don't just keep someone on the shelf.
It's all AI generated.
Yeah, bro.
Wait, is Ricky not on TV?
No,
he hasn't been on TV since.
Is this because
year?
Is this because of him being at Mania?
I don't even think TK knew that he was at Mania until you just said that. He was at Mania?
Oh shit!
The last time I saw Ricky Starks was
he was probably the next one to come out after all them.
Last time we all saw Ricky Starks was at Mania.
The last time I saw him, I was gonna say Edge ripped him in the ring. There was a bunch of guys.
Oh, the collision thing, collision segment. Yeah, it was just like,
and he wasn't he champion. He was a tag champion with Cass.
Yeah,
no?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that turned out.
Darby Allin and Sting.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, that's when we last saw him, and that was what? That was the last pay-per-view. What was the last pay-per-view? Well, World's End.
World's End.
So he lost it before World's End. So that's what I'm saying. We haven't seen him since early December.
And he's not hurt or nothing. He's not injured.
He's not hurt. He was just he
they just ain't got nothing for him.
Yeah, he did an interview the other day, and he said, "Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm just waiting for the call." And then Tony Khan comes out of nowhere and says, "Yeah, like I would love to have him on AEW at some time, like or anytime."
You talking like he's a fucking free agent or something, bro?
Like, what if he got a booking problem? What happened? We can't book him. He's supposed to be at NXT in like 2 weeks. Like what?
Nah,
that's
man,
crazy.
Ricky Starks is another guy, bro. Like Scorpio Sky, another dude.
Scorpio Sky, yes.
From years, the first Dynamite I went to the first Dynamite in DC, and I remember seeing the whole SCU and the shit. I was like, that dude look like money. Like he looks like he talked mad confident. He could go in and like I see something in him. When he got to the TBS champ, I was like, bet this is gonna be good. Nothing after that, man. It's just
I don't remember nothing from that.
I haven't seen him on TV in like a year.
Yeah, he had good TNT runs, yeah. But even that feels like a century ago.
I feel like it's been like what?
He was on the first Collision.
That might have been before.
That's almost a full year.
Before the pandemic, man. No?
It's almost a full. Nah, it's been a year because he was gone for a while. He wrestled on that first Collision, and then he hasn't been on TV since.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, because he won the.
Because remember, Collision was the Bad Kids show with CM Punk and all them. Yeah, Andrade, the motherfuckers who was pissed off at Tony Khan's booking. So he's like, all right, cool, y'all can just be on this show. And then Punk obviously is in the situation he is in now.
His last match was at Ring of Honor on September 28th last year. That was his last match.
Jeez, bro. Ain't nobody watch that
there's
shit.
nothing wrong with him. He's not injured. Yeah, like they shifted him to ROH, and then that was you only have one match, and then that was it. That was it.
Yeah,
so
and then we talk about ROH. Probably their strongest champion, who is a black woman, is behind a paywall that we almost never get to see.
Yeah,
Athena.
Yeah, Athena. Yeah.
That's true. We complain about like the booking in the women's division over there, and a lot of people like, well, they don't got a lot of like like, they need to sign people. Like, they need to sign Mercedes, and now they're saying they need to sign Becky Lynch. I mean, you got some people, you just don't put them on TV. Like, Athena is there.
She's their strongest champion.
They don't need Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch will be good for a big pop, like good pop rating, a rating pop. But their roster is so stacked right now. They don't need Becky Lynch. Even if she does become a free agent, like it just
she will. She's that's not happening.
It's not happening. It's definitely not happening.
It's not going to happen.
She's going to be on Raw in 2 weeks, man. That's not. There's some people that are just WWE bound for life. That she's not going nowhere.
She has no reason to even though she might have done it all in WWE. Like she's comfy, man, and it's to the point where I think they have enough trust in her for her not to be on contract, and then just let her do her thing, go Hollywood, continue your book tour, whatever. She'll be back. Like she's like you said, she's WWE forever. But then again, we said that about Edge, and then look where he is. But
and we said that about Sasha as well.
And Sasha
initially, before the indie stuff, I don't think anyone would have seen her anywhere else other than WWE.
Yeah.
How she ended over there, I could have saw the potential of it because it ended. The thing is this, and I respect her a lot actually, because I do think that she don't get the love and credit that she deserves compared to her counterparts in Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Like she's in that same realm as both of them, and she's always the
problem child,
sister, whatever.
The one that they have a problem with, that you get that negative stigma. Oh, black women are hard to work with, stuff like that.
Yeah, when she
bet on herself. That's ultimately how it is. She bet on herself. She had enough heart. She had enough balls to pick up her ball and said, "I don't think I'm worth that. I think I'm worth more." And her and Naomi left, and they proved themselves right. They were worth more.
Yeah.
They came back calling for Naomi, and
they went looking for Naomi and said, "Hey, it's at the text like, hey, big head, what y'all doing right now? Y'all want to come back?"
And so it's one of those things where it's like I respect it, and I mean, to what she's doing in AEW now, I think she's doing great. I think, and a lot of that is because who she is. Like you don't pay money and sign someone as talented as Mercedes, Sasha, and don't put her in positions to be like the big star she is. So, kudos to her. There's a lot of my thing is this. It for AEW, to their point, it is that thing that you said. It's that big boost. It feels good in the honeymoon stage, and then it flames out. And I hope that doesn't become the case, because, like, even for like a Willow Nightingale, who she lost to Mercedes, right? Like that woman has a lot of potential to be one of the 100%. Best people on the roster. Like, I think she is one of the best women superstars on the roster already.
She's AEW's Bailey. I call her the AEW's Bailey.
Yeah, she very well is, and like she has a very reminiscence of that early Bailey before.
Early Bailey. Yeah,
turned into the whole, Karen gimmick or whatever. but she's got that star power, and it's like you got to hone into this shit, man. You got to know who your stars is, who are the people that they want to watch and they want to come and see. And a lot of the talent on the AEW are, African American. They have that star power, and it's the thing I was saying with Swerve, man. Crossover potential, like Floyd Mayweather hanging on the in the seats, celebrating with him after the win. That's pretty major, bringing out like Rick Ross. We don't forget about that. Bun B, people to AEW and stuff like that. That's different crossover potential.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation.
Sorry.
And he was treated. But he was treated as a bigger star then than when he has the belt now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know a lot of it is people I like you better as a chaser than a champ. I think Swerve could still be that same guy as a champ, though.
100%.
I've seen him as a champion in MLW and everything. He can do it. He has the chops to do it. It's even just NXT, the machine got to push you to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like watching NXT a lot. Like me and Drizzy get to review it. I feel like NXT is the one out of all the like American promotions that do showcase talent from
So,
all
yeah,
sides.
I wanted to get your thoughts on it because I know you guys watch NXT. So obviously, with over there, the black champions over there were Carmelo Hayes and now Trick Williams. Like, how's their portrayal
Both
of?
champions are black right now, and Obafemi's
Oh yeah,
he's the
Obafemi. Yeah,
And I
apologies.
and I want to throw TNA in there too because they also do well by their on all aspects. They have had all types of champions. Some that I've never even I don't think WWE's ever thought of having. Like, when's the last time WWE had a Mexican champion? Like,
What? Eddie
like
Guerrero or Ray?
Del Rio.
those.
Del
maybe
Rio.
Del
Oh
Rio.
God.
Yeah, you're right.
Like and TNA, it's the smaller companies. It's the smaller companies that and what count we know that WWE owns NXT, it's their developmental, but it's just a whole lot easier to refer to them as a separate company because they don't exist
Yeah.
in that world.
Mhm.
NXT does great having diversity, and I think they're a bigger crossover than anybody or anything that goes on the main roster. We just had Sexy Red
Yep.
on NXT.
Insane.
Booker was going wild.
Boy, Booker was tweaking, bro. Like we know you married, right? We know who your
Like,
wife is.
yo, you
I
know we
saw-
can see you, right?
I saw a tweet of someone trying to open the door, and he was saying, "This is Booker T trying to go home."
But the key ain't working. What's going on? Hello?
Like, nah, take your ass over to Sexy Red's house.
We talked about Latino. Damien's Latino, right? Or am I
Yeah,
bugging?
he is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
he's
Puerto
from
Rican,
Puerto
yeah.
Rico.
Okay, yeah.
But
Yo, wow. Okay, fair enough.
to your point, but not to Drizzy's point, like with TNA, a guy that WWE had, and this is why, like, I used to like looking back at it now, like you watch a lot of shit from the Attitude Era, and I specifically watched this segment with Clark and them one time, and Anthony. It was the representation of stereotypes, right? Mustafa Ali was on their roster for a while.
Mhm.
He's doing in TNA is so brilliant. Like the whole presidential, like, crooked politician type of shit. So smart. When they had him, he said that they were trying to have him be like a terrorist and stuff like that.
Yep.
He's Muslim and stuff like that, And like and it goes back to like with Muhammad Hassan and Davari. Like Muhammad Hassan was an Italian dude. He wasn't even Arab. Davari was is Iranian. Like, all of this type of stuff. But you gotta.
But that's
talent
Vince. Like he
rises
just
at the
kept
end of
on.
the
He
day.
just kept putting his hands down the same well. Because if you're foreign, clearly you hate America. He did he did that all the way back from the 80s, and he just think
The
that
80s was full of it. I mean,
full of it.
You had Hogan, Captain America, basically. So anyone against him with a little bit of olive skin, you the bad guy, and this is how it's gonna go. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it. I just get it because I know at that time that was what all the blockbuster films were, the big American hero and stuff. But I don't know. Sometimes I wonder now. It was clearly racist back then.
Mm-hmm.
Is it racist now, or is it just?
I don't know. I don't 100% know if it's racist now, but when you're built wrestling is built on the back of racism. I know that's not something that anybody wants to say, but it is built off the back of racism. And for so long, it's been, no, they don't. Those type of people don't get these belts. Only they do. And I think as time has gone on, it's not that. It's the fact that nobody's ever pushed the machine behind a black wrestler like that.
Yeah,
so
and I think
we don't know if it'll work or not. We're just going off of what history has told us. And history tells us it doesn't work.
And I agree 100% because now I think it's a case of lack of trust, and also sticking to what you're used to. 100% sticking to what you're used to as well. It might not be the 80s, but even in the last 10 years, 20 years, we've still had questionable things. What's that character flipping Godfather played before he was Godfather?
Oh, Papa Shango. No, not Papa Shango.
Yes, that's what
that was Papa Shango.
It was Papa Shango. There you go. Yeah.
Gimmicks like that, or the other guy that used to do that, and he had the flipping guy.
Kamala,
They were talking gibberish, trying to say that that's like an African language or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
Hey,
more
yo,
recently,
Kazuna,
bro, the
is a
most
Samoan.
racist thing I've seen, flipping Mexicals. Bro.
Oh, the Mexicals was so racist.
And as a kid, I'm like jumping
I
to their
didn't think
theme
so,
music.
yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, these guys are cool. And then as I'm older, I'm like, Jesus, they ride lawnmowers.
See, this is where I will sing the praise
Shit
of Eric Bischoff
crazy.
because he never presented them as that.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. They didn't come out on lawnmowers in WCW. They came out there true to themselves. But the moment Vince get his hands on them, let's rev up the John Deeres and let's send them out there.
Bro, they were wearing overalls.
He had
janitors.
Hoovy being a landscaper, bro. That's crazy, man.
What was
Dressed
that?
in overalls, bro.
I think they were thieves too.
Yeah, they used to steal shit. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Bro,
bro.
what was obviously Crime Time? That was a bit tricky. What was the one that I think they realized?
Crime Time was
you know what?
hella.
Crime Time get a pass. I'm sorry. I don't know.
But you know what?
I don't know why.
Here's the thing though. Even with them, like they were so cool. They had charisma for days where
Yes.
Yeah.
it worked. But they didn't even like push them like they should have pushed them as like they had potential to be like.
They were never champions. They champions.
They
should have
were
had a
one
tag
of
team
the
title.
they were one of the top acts in teaming with John Cena in main event feuds, but have never been WWE tag champions.
I'll never forget. There was one time they actually won a number one contenders match, and they never got their match. It was a
They got the
complete
match.
spin-off.
No, they got the match. I know what you're talking about. They got the match. They won the match. They had the belts, and then they pulled one of those. Well, it's not an official match, so we're gonna take those belts back.
Oh, did they? Oh, that burned me for so many years. I was like,
That was legacy, right?
I can't remember. Maybe.
I want to say so.
Yeah. It was absolutely crazy. And obviously the one I didn't look into that deep was obviously we speak about a lot. Use Bobby Lashley against Umaga, Battle of the Billionaires.
So I don't know if it was you, but someone broke it. I mean, it was Rhymes.
Yeah.
When he broke it down, I was like, Jesus, this is racist as hell.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say anything, but it was
Battle of look who was running. Now you see
Vince, Donald Trump,
Donald
Trump. An African American and a Samoan fighting amongst each other and whoever with it's a bit sus.
The conversation
telling them to fight in the field, bro. Like that was it.
I just want to know the conversation that
Crazy,
Umaga and Bobby had in the back. And like, yeah, some shit, ain't it?
But it just keeps going through time. I mean, you look at when Kofi started, the Jamaican gimmick.
accent.
Even when New Day started, their initial gimmick, if you can even
With
remember
preachers,
that.
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just even R-Truth to an extent. It's just
R-Truth anyway.
I feel like R-Truth stands the test of time because he did win a world title, and where he was at was presented him as a world champion. And I think at this point, he's like, I know I'm not getting any more world title pushes or anything like that. I'm more so here just to entertain.
Okay.
So I think he'll get a pass on that aspect of it because he's already given so much to the business and he's already won all his world titles that he's gonna win.
Fair dude.
Yeah, he's a vet at this point, but it does make me sad because I remember watching him in TNA. You know, as Ron Killings and
that man beat Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, bro. Like they saw the.
And he was he had that awesome tag team with Pat-Man Jones as well.
Yeah, that's what I remember from TNA.
That shit was crazy, man.
Man's a tag team champion, and he didn't even lay a finger. Make sense, TNA.
He did one drop kick. That's all he'd ever did. That's the only move he's ever done. One drop kick.
TNA also had what's his name wrestle too, right? The dude on the D'Angelo Williams, the dude who was on the Panthers.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, TNA was definitely the Wild West back then, man.
But TNA
Apollo Crews, that's another one that just popped into my head.
Who?
Apollo Crews, that's another one.
Oh my gosh! Yes, yeah, the Nigerian stuff.
Oh yeah. Yo,
I mean, I'm a little bit biased. I was a fan. Like I was like,
well, see, you know what's crazy? I was thinking about that. Like I always think about that whenever I see him on the TV because he wrestled Friday, right? And I'm just saying, I was like, man, Remember when he beat Big E at WrestleMania?
They had a Mania match.
Where the fuck is he at now? He fell.
What? Wasn't that a battle of the, I'm not making fun. Was it something like the battle of the drums, man?
It was
Drum
a
match.
Nigerian drum fight. A
match.
Nigerian drum fight.
Okay, cool.
That
Fair enough.
that's racist. That's
That was
racist.
racist.
That's racist.
And his heavy was like I don't even know, like
He
Puerto
was like an
Rican or
Indian guy. He was like an Indian guy. Dabba wasn't African.
It was that
Yabba Dabba Doo.
Babatunde guy. Yeah, he's actually part Polish, part Nigerian, like a whole mix of stuff. So there's something in there.
Okay,
They're telling me they couldn't substitute him for Omos.
They should.
I know.
That would have worked.
They
That would have
should.
worked.
That would have
He's
worked.
a-
Yo, Apollo Crews was actually a really good heel.
It's
That
great.
character though. The accent was much.
Yeah, it was a bit much. I was about to
No,
say
the
that
accent was
ridiculous.
trash. The
I
accent
don't
was
think he had, and I don't think he needed to do the accent. Everything else he had to do was perfect. The accent's the one thing that only got me about it.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gotta
Yeah.
have the accent to say you're Nigerian. You already have.
I know for a fact. As soon as you look at you must have been cracking up as soon as he first opened his mouth. Like,
Nah, I was
What's
disappointed.
Let's reverse Kofi because we didn't know Kofi was Jamaican. He got presented to us as like a Jamaican like track runner or whatever.
You're like,
it was.
yeah, it looks like there's trouble
Cool runnings.
in paradise.
Paradise.
Yeah, but
But
Apollo was actually Nigerian.
knew
He
it
should
was-
have done better.
We knew what Apollo, but we knew it would have. But
You
we
know-
knew Apollo never had an accent. He just came in with an accent out of nowhere.
Just
Like,
one
bro,
day.
you wasn't talking. Like, bro, you
Even
been talking like this
girl
last
Lana have
week.
that Russian accent too, because Lana's like
yeah,
Lana.
Lana, yeah.
Lana is actually Russian. So I don't think that it was an act. She speaks Russian and everything. It's just, hey, you speak
Which is
Russian?
Floridian.
Okay, you're Russian now.
Yeah. Like it was weird. Yeah, I mean, she did play up for
It's
right.
like
It wasn't that bad.
it's the fact they
Oh,
made
yeah.
that. Oh, you speak Russian? That's your gimmick now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's Vince.
Again,
That's
what was the
Vince.
gimmick? Someone that is anti-American and just doesn't.
We need somebody for John Cena to beat in 5 months. Build him up.
Yeah. Stupid decision. He should have won at Mania. He had the best entrance that Mania as well. It was fucking
It
jarring.
was
but
so fire, bro. His entrance was so hard.
so fun. And then he gets himself over and he gets penalized for it. Anyway, I'm just it was
Twice.
Twice.
Nice. That's
Fuck
why I
you,
was
man.
glad I was watching wrestling a little more casual back then.
Fair dues. Fair
So
dues.
that's
fair
kind of
dues.
how that's how it is. If the machine doesn't put you over, you don't get that. You don't get to be.
No.
The reason why people like Matt Cardona are not in WWE anymore.
Yeah.
For
And
now.
it-
For now.
Listen,
Yeah.
what was your guys' opinion on? Because when we were talking about WWE champions, I think we all agreed that the one that was shown truly as a champion outside of The Rock was Bobby Lashley. But
Mhm.
what about Big E? If we talk about the actual reign,
They didn't give him an opportunity.
I don't think he had a chance.
You know what the issue was with Big E? And it goes back to something that you said earlier, right? It was there is one title that feels more important than the other one. He was champion when Roman Reigns was at the top of the game with this whole tribal chief thing, and that was really the only title that mattered. Like, even though those, like, because that was before he got the double titles and when he beat like Brock in that match or whatnot, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It was a couple
But,
months
like-
before that. That was that was the main they were going into.
But like it's the same thing. I don't think Vince and them saw what we see in Big E as the champion. Like it's the whole, he's just a funny guy. No, he's not just some big funny dude. Like he's a very he could be very serious when it matters. Like he's a white meat baby face. Like that's what it is. Like he's one of them guys that is a true baby face, and you strap the rocket on him and you let him have he could feud with so many different type of heels that you have. They never gave him the opportunity to rock because they didn't give a fuck about that title. They was waiting for that title to get on Roman's shoulders.
Yeah. Do you remember that he even faced Roman at Survivor Series? I don't remember.
Because he was that gap in time when ain't no world titles being defended between, I want to say, October and maybe February.
Yeah.
There's a large gap in time if you look at the calendar, because if you win that belt at the October pay-per-view, you're not defending it in November because that's
Survivor
the
Series.
Survivor
Battle of the
Series.
Brands. Yeah.
December doesn't really have any pay-per-views. They've been trying to make that a more of a thing. January's Royal Rumble.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So if February would be your next big thing.
Yeah, to obviously to find out who is going to face who at Mania. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
But my hope is, at least for the WWE standpoint, my hope is that there will be more of a turning of a page in regards to stuff like just how we see with NXT, like their main focus on talent is getting these kids that are collegiate athletes and whatnot. And a lot of these collegiate athletes are former, D1 athletes that are black athletes that they're developing. And a lot of these guys are catching on way quicker. Like Obafemi is the dude that, like, me and Drizzy ain't know who he was at all prior to it. And as soon as we saw him hit the stage and cut his first promo and win his match, we knew he was that dude. So
yeah.
I mean, hopefully stuff gets better, but I mean, it matters what the product is at the end of the day and how they represent present the talent and how you book them. And I'm hoping for better, man. Like this whole swerve, like going back to the swerve shit, it just really it makes me annoyed because
100%. And rightly so, because like you said, this is, they've had a decent run of world champions. Like you said, obviously MJF, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, but as soon as you put it to this guy, he's going to end up as one of the duds, and he deserves way more than that. It's a complete package, but it's just not really represented well.
And now with MJF back, is that even more of a sign that it's probably going to go downhill for him, for Swerve?
Maybe it's crazy, but yeah, only time will tell. MJF is definitely going to be coming for that title, because the way that they've written off him with Adam Cole, looks like they ain't going to go back to that anytime soon. So God knows what's happening. So yeah, only time will tell. But all I can say is that AEW and the WWE need to fix up, because we deserve more. Like especially when we know we can be the quarterback and just be represented well. Like we got we got the appeal. It's just
like we can do everything, if not better than most.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
It's not we're asking for anything special. We just want the same opportunities that everybody else gets. We don't want to be treated any different. We just want the same opportunities.